The Australian Poetry Slam is a national program for writers who perform.
Dear Mrs. Miller, do you remember when your son Sam and I were 5 and you told us that we were made of fire? That these atoms were fashioned where the hearts of stars dwell, nebulas cascading through our veins and epithelial cells. Dear Mrs. Miller, do you remember when you said that we learn from history? So that we never summon a Delphic phoenix from Dresden's lungs. Toppled cities burning for the Guernica drums. Berlin yearning for oblivion until obsidian comes. Ruptured in rapture, hearts, minds, and balls captured. Around the tongue of Damocles, iridium hung. We never repeat it. Dear Mrs. Miller, when Sam and I were 15, we smoked joints in backyards. When we were 16, we were slanging shards. Yes, this kidnapped generation left home, found a hallway in our veins that led to a doorway in our brains that opened to oblivion and Stockholm Syndrome. In my mind, it keeps repeating. In my mind, it keeps repeating. It keeps repeating the beating of a door when Bentadrine dreams ignite. Seraphim silent cyclones in the psilocybin night. Sarapin swallowed, remolded, and fucked the skies what we were aiming for when we were shooting up. Dear Mrs. Miller, Sam pushed that doorway into the eternal black. And one day he walked down that hallway and he never came back. You said we were made of fire. Dear Mrs. Miller, I owned the stardust that killed your son. Dear Mrs. Miller, I killed your son. But if the atoms in the stars are in the ones we loved and lost, then isn't it possible that someday those same atoms could be split to some nuclear holocaust? Was Hiroshima another broken heart? For him, I'd fashion Armageddon into a human being again. Please never forgive me. My halo is spun with barbed wire, but if you seek me, I'll be scaling the infinity spires. Dear Mrs. Miller, tonight the stars look alive, like Dresden on fire.